Hello everybody and welcome back to the Kirby's Epic Yarn playthrough. It's time to begin the final world of the game, Dreamland. And just, it's so wonderful. And just filled with so much fan service, and I love it so much. Because, we get to begin in Whispy's forest with the absolutely wonderful piece of music that is Green Greens. Which just, it's gorgeous, it always has been. It's one of my favourite Kirby songs ever. I'm sure it's the same for many other people as well. But it's just fantastic. Now, what's really cool is that the entire level of Whispy's forest is consistent with the way it's been presented in earlier games. Basically, as we get further into the level, you will even see a few empty platforms that are identical to their previous incarnations. And it's just, the thing is that it wouldn't be a Kirby game if Whispy Woods wasn't present. It simply would not be. And so I really like the fact that in Epic Yarn, this actually comes towards the end of the game. Because, obviously in most Kirby games, Whispy Woods is your first boss, and Whispy's Forest and all of that is generally the first level of the game. And that's always really fun and really adorable, and it's a nice, easy beginning to the game. But what I particularly love here is the fact that they're just flipping the formula on its head. So whereas Green Greens and Whispy Woods and all of that is normally your first level, this is your last world in the game. It's the first level of this particular land, but it's the end of the game, and it's just a nice little twist on the Kirby formula. Which really is what Epic Yarn has been doing this entire time. It's been playing around with what to expect from a Kirby game. Also, I was absolutely heartbroken by that. I was just like, I just got sent so far away from all of my beads. It was going so well. But oh well, no need to grumble. I'm going to be able to get so many beads at the end of this particular level that there's really no need to panic. There's certainly need to panic, it's looking at certain other things, normally all those spikes and all that jazz. Also the state of the world as it is on the day of recording this commentary, because it's a bit of a mess at present. Fingers crossed things improve, but politics is probably not exactly the thing to be talking about when we are playing through a wonderful Kirby level. Now, obviously, you've faced pretty much most of the challenges that are being presented to you here. You've got all the bow waddle dees, you've got the waddle dees, the waddle doos, you've got all sorts. We've also had Twiggy Woods, which are those trees that look like Whispy Woods that you've got to yank down. They're quite simple to deal with. Obviously we've got the Shotzo cannons, which is just a case of avoiding. And we've also had Grizzo, which is that big bear thing. And, they're always quite adorable when you see a Grizzo, but they can be quite violent. I believe we have also seen a few Ukis, which are like the monkey type enemy. Think of like the Uki from the Mario series. At least I'm pretty sure that is what they are called. Okay, no, it's just ukiki. I was close enough. So obviously, I think it's because... at least I'm assuming the sound that monkeys make in Japan is uki, or something along that line. It makes sense. But I can't do much more than just gush at how much I love the fact that the final world of Epic Yarn is Dreamland. And to be fair, I can't help but gush at how well Kirby is doing as of late. I mean, in terms of, like, games being successful, commercially and critically, I mean, Triple Deluxe did, I think, reasonably well, and I think Planet Robobot's probably doing reasonably well. I mean, critically, it's done phenomenally. And really, he's not put a foot wrong since Epic Yarn. I mean, I think probably since Superstar Ultra, he's just been hitting it out the park. Obviously, there was Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. I don't think did phenomenally well, but everything else has done gangbusters. And anything that's like a main Kirby game, i.e., the Return to Dreamland, Triple Deluxe, Planet Robobot, etc., just been phenomenal. I still need to get Planet Robobot, but that will come in time. As I've said before, I think in this very playthrough actually, got a little bit of Fire Emblem Fates to deal with, and very recently I just got Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, so I've got a lot to keep myself busy with. So hopefully I'll be able to get through all of that well, definitely before the end of September, because I want to get a little bit of Kirby in there, I want to get a little bit of Uncharted 4 in there. Just anything to get me through until we get like the Final Fantasy 15 and The Last Guardian, now that we have a release date for it, and Pokemon Sun and Moon and all that jazz. But anyway, we are coming up to the end of this level now, and you could probably tell by the fact that we have a gold medal already. But even then, we're going to be just making so many more beads. It's just going to be glorious. And these are the Twiggy Woods that I was speaking about. Obviously quite easy to deal with, but nothing too much bad, really. Obviously the Gordos could be a bit of a pain, but yeah, you can get up dead easy, and we are all good. Now, why did I say you're probably going to be making a lot more beads? Well, we've got a Meta-Mortex transformation, and it's the return of the tank bots. Very much appreciated. And we just get to obliterate everything. God, that's ever so slightly maniacal. You see, the maniacal laughter matches the angry expression on the tank bot, because it's the only thing that works, really. And really, I mean, that's a very small little thing that's always fun to note in the Kirby series, is that pretty much all of the Japanese artwork, like box art for Kirby games, has Kirby being happy and smiley, whereas the Western box art always tend to show Kirby very angry and determined. And I mean, I'm pretty sure that goes all the way back to the assumption, well, the general difference between American and Japanese audiences is that Japanese audiences really, really, really love things that are cute. So, I mean, you look at any sort of mascot, they're generally always happy and smiley and all that jazz. But then, whenever you get a Western mascot, they've always got that determined look, because We like a bit of violence here in the West. May not like to admit it, but seriously we do. So we are much more fond of our violent protagonists. I mean, if you look at like Spyro, the difference in those two covers, obviously Kirby. I'm pretty sure Crash Bandicoot had a very similar situation. Bomberman, etc, etc, etc. You can just list them off and it's all the same. But at least Kirby always remains absolutely adorable in-game, so even if he's a little bit angry on the box art, it doesn't really matter in the end. But there we go, Whispy's Forest is done and dusted. Now, what wonderful little throwback are we going to have next? I wonder. Also, good grief, I have a lot of beads. Don't worry, we will be using them all up very, very soon. But it will have to wait until the extras because I've got a world to save here. We don't have time to just stop and buy loads of stuff. So, here we go. Time to enter Tempest Towers. Now, where's the little fan service in Tempest Towers? Well, the music is Butter Building from Kirby's Adventure, and Butter Building is another one of those very common Kirby themes. And what's really quite nice is that Tempest Towers, in terms of its structure, is very similar to Butter Building, because obviously both are very high structures that pierce the sky, and it's very windy, so you've got gusts blowing Kirby about left or right. Now this is a really fun use of the parachute form that we've been using throughout the game, because when you enter into the parachute form, you will obviously be flung in the direction of the wind. This can both aid you and seriously harm you, so it's all about getting your timing down. Which can be easier said than done. You can be screwed out of a successful jump if you don't manage to successfully maneuver properly. But it can allow you to make grand leaps like that to pick things up that you otherwise would not have been able to reach. So, it's a really nice use of the gimmick. Because up until this point we haven't, even though we've been using the parachute, we've never really faced a proper challenge with it. It's all been about... how do I put it? It's all just been about dropping down to the ground safely, or just trying to gather enough distance to make a jump. It's not been at all about using the parachute to... in a different way. So it's nice that one of the final challenges is bringing something a little bit new to an old mechanic. Also, I'm pretty sure I just clipped through the floor there, but it's fine, we made it to the treasure chest, so I am safe, I can breathe, it is all good. Now, as much as I will say that I am quite fond of this particular level and its gimmick, it can be ever so slightly frustrating, because you will end up in situations where you have to wait so much to be able to do anything. And I mean, obviously, like, I saw the stuff below, and I was just like, right, I need to get that, and then I was just like, oh no, I parachuted, and now I'm going to land on the spikes. I didn't, thankfully. It was ever so close. But I was very nearly having to scramble for everything. But yeah, this is a slightly annoying leap to try and make, because it's so simple to just accidentally overshoot. I mean, really, that is the entire point of the challenge. It's, will you overshoot the mark? Or will you be an idiot and parachute when you really should not be parachuting? Because you are not going to be able to get the height necessary. Also, this is particularly cruel because we need to get up onto that ladder to get a collectible. Now, I believe that the way you are technically meant to do it is to use the car jump, so it's where you immediately turn into a car and leap, because you get a little bit more jump out of your jump. If that makes any sense at all. Obviously, I'm having an absolute nightmare of it, and just having to move onwards. But I think that if you climb up a little bit further, you'll probably have an easier time of getting to that platform. You've just got to make sure that you don't climb up too high, otherwise you are going to screw yourself over and you are not going to be able to get anything. It's not ultimately that important, because I think it is just those... the crystal star there. But if you want that gold medal, certainly damn well go for it. And as you can see here, that works a hell of a lot better. I know my guide told me just jump from the shot zone, but just was not feeling it. But thankfully, that's all sorted now, and it's just a wonderful little vertical flying now with the parachute. So I mean, I really love the fact that we have now moved from the side drafts to updrafts, and it's all about manoeuvring, although obviously do not do that. You do not want to be giving the Scarfies any sort of attention, or dropping everything to the ground. Because this is obviously a massive vertical shaft, and it's not going to be pretty if you drop everything to the bottom and then don't really have the chance to scarper your way back to the things. Now obviously it is important to remember that you can still parachute whilst holding things, because that is the only way that you are going to get through to pick things up. You're going to want to take the right hand path if you want that crystal star, although you can do what I've just done and take the left path twice, because then you really do not have to deal with the Gordos. And to be fair, why would you want to deal with the Gordos considering, you know, the whole indestructibility thing? And we are very, very close to the end of the level now. And I can't believe I just did that. But, oh well, it's done. Just gotta keep moving. Now this is a particularly simple treasure chest. But, I'm fine with a little bit of simple every now and again, considering we're going to be faced with a really, really, really cruel treasure chest in a level not too far away. I will happily accept one that's on the easier side of the challenge. Also, for crying out loud, I'm just desperately getting hit here. It's like I've got some sort of obsession with it, but I know that that's simply not the case. Anyway, sorry, Yellow Bead, you're just going to have to stay there and suffer, because I think it's time to finish this level now, don't you? Beautiful. So, with that all done, it's time to head on to some of the more challenging levels of Dreamland. Let's go.